Where's the camera?
Hey, welcome to Morning Show Plus. We're going to start things off with the weather because we've got a weather authority alert day that's going to be declared about 2 hours.
After all that hot weather this week, and now it's turning
that's
around.
Part of the problem.
Gotcha.
All that hot weather just lifts that hot air up, and then that storm's coming through, and that's technically a cold front that's dropping in. So here's what's happening. If you have travel plans to Atlanta, I would definitely check your flight ahead of time. They are having some major weather problems there. For us, with the Weather Authority Alert Day, the WAD, just means we're going to have extreme winds. We have up to 40 to 70 mile per hour chance of winds today. Here, let's take a look at what's happening throughout the afternoon. This is at 6 o'clock tonight. It's going to drop in to southeast Georgia first. And this weather could have severe qualities to it, such as downdrafts of wind up to 50 plus miles per hour. We could see heavy rainfall, of course, at times with localized flooding. Potential hail associated with these types of storms, especially these warm air storms, and isolated tornadoes. These are all things that we need to keep an eye on, and that's what the WAD is for. So after 12 o'clock today, we will be keeping our viewers on all of our platforms up to date on what's happening. So by 9 o'clock tonight, this will drift into the Florida-Georgia line, and then between 5 and 8 tonight, even later, south of I-10. So keeping an eye on that. We're going to clear up overnight, which is the good news. However, we have more coming tomorrow morning.
My goodness.
Yep.
Look
Right
at
along the
that.
I-10 corridor.
Right around, 75 and I-10 by 7 o'clock for the commute. And even by noon tomorrow, we'll still have these lingering storms. So you're going to want to keep it online, on your app, on air, and right here on our streaming channel as well for all the latest updates starting pretty much around noon today. We'll be doing cut-ins
I go back to the radar. You can see that it's to the north of us right now around Columbus, Georgia, up by Warner Robins. Looks like they'll get clobbered sometime in the next 90 minutes. So.
Yep. I mean, definitely our north-southeast Florida, our north-southeast Georgia counties, rather, will be feeling the effects first. Brunswick, way across that line.
Okay, so we'll have hourly updates on News for Jax.
Starting at 12.
Starting at 12 o'clock. All right, you'll be back in just a little bit.
I will.
With more on that.
shall.
All right,
Thank you so much.
the other big story, and we're going to bring Jim Pickett in on this, is that we're going to get a hint about what's happening with the Stadium of the Future.
Come on this side, Jim.
So, Ron Salem basically hinted that we'll find out during Tuesday's City Council meeting what negotiators are talking about right now. You tried your darndest to get the mayor to unveil some of the secrets.
They've got that. The mayor has that. They know what is there. They say, oh, nothing's in writing, so they're not going to release it to us until Tuesday. But that deal, they've been talking about this for about a year now, negotiating it. It's there. They know what's going on. We don't. And that's our job, is to try to find
Absolutely.
out. I think the key things in all of this, okay, we've heard this new stadium renovation is going to cost $1.4 billion. How that's going to be split? At one time, when this all started, they said, we're going to pay the lion's share, like 3/4 of it. That's not, now I understand that's not the case anymore. It could be, we just don't know. And I think that's what taxpayers want to know. How we're going to pay for this, what it's going to encompass, and what's going to happen.
So are we hoping to learn that on Tuesday?
Well, we will learn that.
Oh, we will learn that.
You wanted to find out sooner.
Because it's there now.
Right.
And I think people need, if it's out there, we need to know it. They want city council members to look at it first, but I think as the public, we all have that right to look at it now too, because that's going to affect every one of us here in Jacksonville. Either how they're going to pay for it, who knows, how that's going to be split up, and what's going to happen. A lot of people they don't want, the stadium's great, but they're going, should I be paying for this? There are a lot of things coming up in this too. The mayor had mentioned the outside area. Somehow the Jags need to maybe put some money so the eastern side of the community gets some benefit from this, because right now they're only doing the stadium. They're not doing the outside part.
Right.
That's a concern as well. This is going to be bonded. How this is going to be paid for. Different things like that. We need to know.
So what's your angle today? Because I know you're on this story again today. How are you going to push this forward for us?
Ron Salem had mentioned he wants this council to vote on this by the time he leaves office, and that's July 1st. But this is going to be so complicated. A lot of people just don't see that happening. So I was just on the phone now with Randy White, who would probably be the next council president. He's the vice president now. And he goes, I haven't seen anything. I don't know anything.
Do you really think he hasn't seen anything?
I think he might have heard things. whatever. Now, city council members have their own consultant that they have hired and paid for
Right.
that are now going to advise them on what to do. We're going to try to see what they can tell us. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to get anything today or not more on that, but I think it's important because that's going to be a big issue for us.
The mayor is usually pretty forthcoming about this.
Yeah, very
so
much.
you followed her for a little bit, all the way onto the elevator yesterday. Why do you think she was so perturbed? I mean, you would think that she'd give you a little bit of a nugget.
Well, I was kind of surprised because I thought surely they have this, they would want to say, to get this out there. So if they want people to be in favor of this, they can't keep things secret. That's our job is to try to find out, to pass that on to you, to what's going on. So,
And she was a reporter, so she knows people want to know.
knows.
People need
I
to know.
was up at I go every day to City Hall,
Yes.
talking to people today just about what's going to happen, and that's what I'm going to do. You know, Ron Salem is going to be on this week in Jacksonville this week.
With Kent, yeah.
Yeah, they'll be doing some stuff today. I'm going to ask about that because even though he said yesterday, I don't know much, who knows what you're going overnight. And
But even if the mayor had said to you, look, you know, the things that have been out there,
Right.
maybe the taxpayers aren't going to share as much of the burden as they thought. I think they're going to be happy with the proposal that's going to come.
Right.
Because you can say something that really doesn't give away the whole kit and caboodle.
Right. And I think if, you know, it's the cost, I think it's important because that's what everybody wants to know. How much are we going to be able to pay? How much are we
Exactly.
going to be on the hook for?
Exactly.
And that's what I'm trying to find.
Do we know what it's like in other cities? I mean, when you do a new stadium.
We saw what Chicago just did.
Right.
Yeah. Some they put it to a referendum and some
Referendums.
don't.
Makes sense.
You know, some people say, we're not voting on this. So, you know, they think we should. Other cities have done that. You know, there have been some stadiums, well, let's just give it to the owner. Let's sell
Right.
them that property, and then it becomes their responsibility. That's not going to be the case here. We know that's not going to happen here. And it's just going to, I mean, the stadium is going to change everything down there. It's going to change how things operate down in the, what now will be the entertainment district. But this is only for the stadium. And I'm just trying to find out what we're going to do and how much it's going to cost.
If anybody can get an answer before Tuesday.
It's just
And I don't know if we're going to get it or not. You know, the Times Union's working hard on this as
Yeah.
well. So, you know, sometimes it's all of us
Joint
working
effort.
together.
yeah,
right.
absolutely.
And that's what I'm going to do.
Appreciate you joining us on
All right.
Morning Show Pod.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, here's the other story that we've got going right now. These two women, Cassie Aaron and Lauren Lee, they completed that 500-mile drive that started at Friendship
Yes.
Fountain, right, and wound up down in the Keys at the big buoy marker right there. It says
Perfect.
like 90 miles to Cuba. So they were hoping to win a Guinness World Record, but Guinness said, okay, you want that record? You got to pay us. Why?
$16,000.
Why? Because they were raising money for charity along the way. I don't know that that's fair.
That doesn't make sense at all. And honestly, when we did this story a few months ago, it brought so much joy. So many people were commenting. They love the story. They love the idea behind it. And it's so cool to imagine seeing someone just driving on the sidewalk, you know, on a little toy car.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was still eye-catching, but they had purpose behind it. They wanted to give the money to for animal charities. And, you know, when you have good intention like that and to be just buckled down by the Guinness Book of World Records, I mean, what was the purpose of that?
So they said, look, you know, these charities are more important to us than a world record. I hope that Guinness hears that there's a public outcry about this and the people are going, look, these ladies had a valiant effort at heart.
Exactly.
Give them the world record too, because if they get the world record, also Guinness will be seen as having a heart. Maybe they'll give more
Exactly.
money to charity as a result. Everybody wins.
Everybody could win. But no, instead, you know, you put a price tag on things, and that's how, you know, money can get in the way of good things, unfortunately. But listen, Channel 4, we loved doing that story. Carrie Ann and Sierra Erie Photographer, they did a fantastic
Carrie
job.
Ann just heard her name.
Carrie Ann just
Hey,
walked
Carrie
away.
Ann?
Yes, you did your
So
thing
we-
on that story.
You know what? We should start a write-in campaign on News for Jacks to Guinness and say, why, you guys?
Why?
Yeah, come here real quick.
We have some time. We're going to bring in Carrie Ann
before
here.
we go back to the weather. Where's this other microphone?
Oh, it's on the floor there. Can you grab that mic?
Yeah, Jim.
Jim was in a rush. It's right down here.
Oh, you didn't have to crawl.
There's Michelle.
Michelle's helping.
So, Carrie,
There we go.
You know, you got the story from the get-go.
Yeah, come
you know
on,
these
right over this
ladies.
side.
I mean, what was Guinness thinking?
I reached out to them like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
I've not heard back.
I mean, saying we want thousands of dollars so you can get the world record. These ladies, they were just trying to raise money for charity.
I know, and I've never heard about that before, ever, about having to pay
Yeah.
during your Guinness World Record. And they didn't learn about it, allegedly, they said, until like the middle of their trip.
Mm-hmm.
So I need some answers. And I'm trying to get
Yeah.
them. And I've been emailing them every day.
Yeah.
Can we do a what's
No
up with that on
response.
newsforjacks.com?
I mean,
What's
we
up
can.
with that?
What's up with that?
What's up with that?
Right.
But anyways, Guinness, if you're watching this, please email me again.
That would be helpful. And I'm sure you know those two young women. I mean, how excited were they to even just do this?
So excited.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Are they coming back here?
I'm hoping.
All right, we
But
got to get them on the show.
Yeah, they stated in their YouTube video, they're like, we're just two girls who are doing this to raise money for animals. We don't have $16,000 to give you. So
And they
I wouldn't either. So they
Right.
were like, we're going to forfeit our chances for the Guinness World Record, and we're going to use the money that we would have paid you to continue our efforts to save animals.
charity.
Yes.
All right.
Which is what the whole, part of the whole thing is, other than to just do this with your best friend.
All right.
And if you can do it,
So,
why not?
so what's up with that Guinness and what's up with the weather? We're going to find out on what's going to become a weather authority alert day starting at 12. Stay with us on Morning Show Plus.
Authority Alert Day. Thank you so much for coming back with us. But like we were saying earlier, so much heat. It was hot just coming in the door, but that's going to change in a few hours.
It's 10:15 almost in the morning, and it's already 85 degrees officially at the airport. You know, the record high for today is 96 from 1962.
Goodness.
And it's possible we will hit that, at least tie it, maybe even exceed it. So, of course, we're keeping an eye on the heat, and the heat is also what fuels all those storms as a cold front pushes into our area. So, hopefully, the high tomorrow will only be 85, but right now the high is at 10:15 in the morning. So, here's a look around around the area, and this is what we're watching today. So, right now it looks fine. You're going to go outside and you're going to be like, what weather, right? Well, the weather's going to start to roll into our southeast Georgia counties by about between 2 and 4, we think. Now, the models are showing a little later, the heavy stuff is in purple, and that's this area of concern, right? So damaging winds over 50 miles per hour, heavy rainfall, localized rain, and flooding at times. Potential hail and isolated tornadoes are always going to be a factor with severe storms that this model is showing you. So where you see purple is where you see problems. So over the course of our evening hours before sunset, we do have the possibility of this, and that is why we issued the WAD day that's going to start around noon, which just means we're going to keep you up to date throughout the afternoon and throughout the evening on the potential hazards that a storm system like this will have.
All right, we got you covered. Make sure you've got the News4Jax weather app as well, so when you're not near a TV, we keep you posted with push alerts. Stay safe out there.
Yes.